Hello, I'm Jimmy Carran.
And when she's by my side, it's feeling like
Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and here's all this week's quiz episodes in one go. I love a good quiz, but until this pandemic's over, you're going to have to make do with this. Sorry. First up, 5 general knowledge questions. Question number 1. Which planet officially stopped being a planet in 2006? So which planet isn't a planet anymore and it stopped being a planet in 2006? Question 2. Which movie has the tagline, "The longer you wait, the harder it gets"? And the clue is, it's a pretty good joke. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Which movie's tagline? Question 3 was sent in by Paul Morley, who is a viewer of the Little Tiny Quiz of the Lockdown, and he sent in a question, so thanks very much. And here is the question. Where was the last concert Queen played with Freddie Mercury? So where was the last place Queen played a concert before they became a sort of Queen tribute band? Question 4. The lyrics to a UK #1 single of 1967 and the lyrics to a UK #1 single of 1975 both contain the word fandango. Name them both. So 2 songs, one from 67, one from 75, both #1s, both contain the word fandango. Name them both. Also, name any other songs with the word fandango in them. I'd just like to know. And question 5. This sounds complicated, but it's very gettable. We all know what speed means. We all know that acceleration means how quickly speed is increased. Some of you might know that jerk is how quickly acceleration is increasing. And the word for how quickly jerk is increasing is snap. If you continue in this pattern, what are the next 2 terms? You're going to kick yourself if you don't get this. Next, I'm going to describe the title sequence of some well-known TV shows. You just have to say the name of the program every time. So question number 6. Some protection from water becomes necessary when an ornamental water feature is used inappropriately. We've all seen the show. What's it called? Question 7. A suited man is in his office. Oh no, he's falling down into the city below. Wait a minute. No, he isn't. He's in a nice chair with a cigarette. What's the show? Question 8. We get a very brief glimpse of the skyline of the largest city in the Pacific Northwest, with a tiny variation each time. What is the TV show? Question 9. It's time for everyone to go home in a town which has apparently had a jaundice outbreak? What's the TV show? And question 10. Public transportation ironically causes a wardrobe malfunction. What's the TV show? Next, I'm going to describe the title sequence of some well-known TV shows. You just have to say the name of the program every time. So question number 6. Some protection from water becomes necessary when an ornamental water feature is used inappropriately. We've all seen the show. What's it called? Question 7. A suited man is in his office. Oh no, he's falling down into the city below. Wait a minute. No, he isn't. He's in a nice chair with a cigarette. What's the show? Question 8. We get a very brief glimpse of the skyline of the largest city in the Pacific Northwest, with a tiny variation each time. What is the TV show? Question 9. It's time for everyone to go home in a town which has apparently had a jaundice outbreak. What's the TV show? And question 10. Public transportation ironically causes a wardrobe malfunction. What's the TV show? Well, that's it for today's questions. I'll be back with the answers right now. So pause if you don't want the answers yet. First, we had 5 general knowledge questions. Question number 1 was about the planet which got demoted to dwarf planet in 2006. It was poor old Pluto. Not entirely sure you can say dwarf planet anymore. Never mind. For question 2, I asked you which movie has the tagline, "The longer you wait, the harder it gets." It was, of course, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Good gag. Question 3, where was the last concert Queen played with Freddie Mercury? Now, I thought Wembley 86, but in fact the answer is Knebworth Park a little later the same year. So Knebworth Park was the place we were looking for. For question 4, I asked you to give me those 2 songs with Fandango in the lyrics. We were looking for A Whiter Shade of Pale and Bohemian Rhapsody. It all connects somehow. And question 5 was our fun physics one. The sequence goes speed, acceleration, jerk, snap, and after snap, crackle and pop. Yeah, that's right. So snap, crackle and pop are proper grown-up terms in physics. Who knew? Next, I described some opening sequences from TV shows. Did you get the TV shows? So question 6 was some protection from water becomes necessary when an ornamental water feature is used inappropriately. The water feature in question was a fountain. The protection was umbrellas. The show was Friends. For question 7, the description was this: a suited man is in his office. Oh no, he's falling down into the city below. Wait a minute, no he isn't. He's in a nice chair with a cigarette. It is of course Mad Men. Question 8 was this: we get a very brief glimpse of the skyline of the largest city in the Pacific Northwest with a tiny variation each time. The city was Seattle, so the show is Frasier. For question 9, the description went: it's time for everyone to go home in a town which has apparently had a jaundice outbreak. So jaundice is the clue there, it makes everyone go yellow. The show is The Simpsons. And finally, question 10 was public transportation ironically causes a wardrobe malfunction. It's a bus which ironically has Carrie Bradshaw's face on it just as it splashes her from a big old puddle. Sex and the City. First up, 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1. Which of the First up, 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1. Which of the Spice Girls was born first? Which of the Spice Girls was born first? I suppose you could say which of the Spice Girls is oldest, but I view them as being timeless, so that would be unfair. Which of the Spice Girls was born first? Question 2. In sport, what does WWE stand for? I mean, what do the letters WWE stand for? Not what are the core values of WWE? Question 3, we have a question from an isolator, John Davies. Thank you very much. Question 3, we have a question from an isolator, John Davies. Thank you very much, John. Here is the question. If your balls are black and blue and mine are red and yellow, what are we doing? If your balls are black and blue and mine are red and yellow, what are we doing? Quite philosophical, that one. Question 4, and it's another one from you lot sat at home. This is from Graham Tanner in London. Complete this quote from Boris Johnson from the end of the 2008 Olympic Games. I say this respectfully to our Chinese hosts, who have excelled so magnificently at ping pong. Ping pong was invented on the dining tables of England in the 19th century, and it was called what? So what did Boris Johnson say table tennis used to be called? And question 5. Question 5 is often the one where you have to make some sort of educated guess. No exception today. In 1957, one of the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous annoyed some AA members when he suggested that what could be a good way to get off the booze. So what did one of the founders of AA say might be a good way to get off the booze? Okay, next 5 questions have a sort of a topical air. Question 6. Which celebrity has released a video of themselves taking delivery of a load of meat? Not like that, get your minds out of the gutter. And giving up a macrobiotic diet for lockdown, but promising to stick to humane meats. Who would do such a thing? Well, that's the question. Question 7. The Queen recently celebrated her 94th birthday. I didn't get her anything, Christ. What part of the traditional celebrations did Buckingham Palace decide would not be appropriate at this time? So, what did the Queen forego on her 94th birthday? I mean, we've all made sacrifices, but really, this was quite a big one. Question 8. Which celebrity is responsible for kicking off the TikTok trend, the dance called the Toosie slide? I think it's the Toosie slide, but I mean, I don't know because I'm not one of the kids, but the Toosie slide, which celebrity is responsible? It's not a bluff. I genuinely don't know how it's pronounced, the Toosie slide. It's a singer. There, you can have that. Question 9. In Cornwall, and that's a clue, a man called Tim Fugg has become a dad again. Congratulations, Tim. The new baby weighed a little over 6 pounds, and Tim created something of the same size and weight to honour the new arrival. What was that something? And the clue is Cornwall. And question 10. Leonardo DiCaprio is offering a walk-on role in his forthcoming movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, to someone who donates to a charity to help feed vulnerable people in America. What a nice bloke. Who is the director of Killers of the Flower Moon? So who's the director of Killers of the Flower Moon? It's someone he's worked with before and someone who's great. Bit of a clue. Well, hopefully you got all of those. I mean, you were lucky. You got a chance to have an education. I read that 2 out of 3 kids aren't doing any schoolwork at home, which they think is nearly half. Right, time for some answers. For today's questions. Pause, obviously, if you haven't got all the answers yet and you need more time because, you know, it's not an exam. Have as much time as you like. Really, we've got nothing but time. Okay, answers. Question 1, I asked you which of the Spice Girls was born first. I didn't want to use the word oldest, but now I have. Oops. Anyway, it's Geri Halliwell, and I tell you what, she looks bloody great on it, whatever age she happens to be. For question 2, I asked you what WWE stands for. It's World Wrestling Entertainment. Right. It's undoubtedly very popular. In fact, it was even deemed an essential service in Florida for a bit. Weird to have entertainment in the name of your sport because it makes it sound more like a spectacle and less of a serious sport. But, well, let's leave those questions to someone else. Question 3. If your balls are black and blue and mine are red and yellow, what are we doing? Or rather playing? The answer is, of course, we are playing croquet. Yeah. Obviously, we wouldn't be playing croquet because that is some non-essential activity at the best of times. For question 4, remember what Boris Johnson claimed was the original name of table tennis. It was whiff-waff. He thought it was called whiff-waff originally. Turned out, bullshit. Yes, not quite true. Who'd have thought it? Boris Johnson getting his facts wrong. And question 5 was the one about the founder of the AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and it was LSD that he thought might help folks give up the sauce. Just to be 100% clear, if you are trying to cut down on the vino in the lockdown, I don't especially recommend getting off your face on acid. Although, you know, go with God, I won't judge you. Next, I gave you some topical questions. Question 6, the celeb who took delivery of that meat is, of course, Gwyneth Paltrow. Yeah. I imagine she's currently doing a roaring trade in vagina-scented candles. Good luck to her as well. Question 7 was all about the Queen's birthday. Well, our Queen decided to forego a 94-gun salute. Normally it takes place in Hyde Park and the Tower of London on her birthday, but she decided it was not an essential activity in the middle of a pandemic. God bless your mum. For question 8, I asked you who has created the Toosie slide, the dance that's become a trend on TikTok. I don't know what any of these words mean. I mean, TikTok I'm on, but Toosie slide? Good luck. It was Drake. Of course it was Drake from Toronto. Yeah, a fun fact, he started at the bottom and now he's here. For question 9, the clue was in where Tim Fugg lives. I told you he was from Cornwall, and the thing he made, the same size and weight as his newborn son, was a Cornish pasty. It was 1/2 metre in diameter, and it took him 2 days to eat. The pasty, not the child, let's be clear. Finally, question 10 was the Leonardo DiCaprio one. If you donate to the All In Challenge, then you'll be entered into a prize draw to win a role in a movie directed by none other than Martin Scorsese. Question 1. Well, in lockdown, it has been mandatory to watch Tiger King, so I thought we'd do a tiger-related question. If a daddy tiger and a mummy lion love each other very much and they have a baby, the creature is known as a tigon. What is it called when a daddy lion and a mummy tiger have a baby? So when a daddy lion and a mummy tiger have a baby, what's it called? Question 2. The original version of which song begins with the singer saying, "Goodbye, Norma Jean"? Question 3, this is from an isolator. Fiona's question is, who killed the man who killed John F. Kennedy? Yeah, who killed the man who killed John F. Kennedy? I mean, I say killed, allegedly killed. I mean, he definitely did, but you know, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist and burn down a mast, allegedly killed. Question 4, Mount Rushmore features the likenesses of 4 American presidents. 2 of them are Washington and Lincoln. Who are the other 2? So I'll give you Washington and Lincoln. Who are the other 2 presidents on Mount Rushmore? And question 5. Question 5 is the one where you often have to make an informed guess. I think you can get there. There's a somber note to this question, but we live in somber times. In January 1867, 41 people were killed in Regent's Park in London whilst undertaking what sporting activity? And really, the time of year is the clue. Next, I'm going to give you chapter headings from DVDs of well-known movies. All I want to know is the name of the movie. Let's do this. Question 6. Which movie has these chapter headings? Knock on Wood, Mighty Marseillaise, and Is Renault Trustworthy? It's a classic movie. What's it called? Question 7. The chapter headings are Dog Tags, Omaha Beach, and One Decent Thing. It's a big movie, this one. What's its name? Question 8. Which movie has these chapter headings? Star Child, The Dawn of Man, Emergency Airlock. Actually, I bet the director wouldn't call it a movie. He'd call it a piece of cinema. Anyway, what is the name of the classic film? Question 9. The chapter headings are Lands of Death, Bleed With Me, and Courage and a Free Heart. What is the film? I mean, it's rousing stuff. And question 10. You should definitely get this one if you've been locked in the house for 5 weeks. The Plaster Cocoon, Meet the Neighbors, and Message to a Murderer. What's the movie? Okay, if you're writing down your answers, it's time to wrap things up. because here come the answers. I'm not saying the quiz today has been a walk in the park, but if the police catch you doing it, they will fine you £30. Question 1. What is it called when a daddy lion and a mummy tiger love each other very much and they have a little baby? The answer is a liger. Yeah, I presume we're all experts because we've all watched Tiger King. Let's face it, it was amazing. For question 2, I asked you the original version of which song begins with the singer saying goodbye Norma Jean. Norma Jean, better known as Marilyn Monroe. The song is of course Candle in the Wind by the great Elton John. Question 3 was, who killed the man who killed JFK? Did you get this? It was Jack Ruby. Yeah, allegedly. I mean, you know. He did it. Question 4 was the Mount Rushmore one. I gave you Washington and Lincoln. I wanted you to give me Jefferson and Roosevelt. That's at the time of recording, by the way. Any day now, I'm sure Trump will sign an executive order and have himself added. Question 5. The clue was in the date. It was January 1867, and hundreds of people were killed in Regent's Park whilst ice skating. Yeah, stay away from lakes, people. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Next, I gave you those triplets of chapter headings from DVDs. I asked you what the film was. Well, here they come. Question 6. Renault there is Captain Renault, and the marvellous Marza Yaz and Knock on Wood are two of the songs they sing at Rick's Cafe. It is, of course, Casablanca. If you've not seen it, you know you've got time on your hands. Have a watch, it's a classic. For question 7, one clue was that Omaha Beach was one of the D-Day landings. So along with dog tags and One Decent Thing, we were looking for Saving Private Ryan. You got that, of course you did. Question 8 was Star Child, The Dawn of Man, and Emergency Airlock. They're all chapters in 2001, A Space Odyssey. Well done if you got that one. I didn't really get it. I mean, in that I didn't really understand what was going on, but I liked it. Looks stunning. For question 9, I asked you which movie has scenes titled Lands of Death, Bleed With Me, and Courage and a Free Heart. We didn't give you The Trouble with Scotland or Freedom because that would have insulted your intelligence. It was, of course, Braveheart. Finally, question 10 was The Plaster Cocoon, Meet the Neighbours, and Message to a Murderer. It's a film about being stuck inside all day, peeking out and being a bit nosy about your neighbours. Yeah, I'd recommend it. It's called Rear Window. Question 1. Which movie had the tagline, "He may be dead, but he's the life of the party"? It's a classic of a sort. Question 2. Which religious song has been a hit for Norman Greenbaum, Doctor and the Medics, and Gareth Gates with the Kumars? Something for each generation to grab onto there. What song was a hit for all of them? Right, time for a question from one of you. Today it's from Alexis Bowden, and it's a corker. Before the philosopher Jeremy Bentham died in 1832, he asked that his body be preserved at University College London. But why? Was it A, so he could come back and tell his colleagues whether God existed, B, to keep his dog, who was also stuffed, company, or C, so that he could still go to college parties? So why did Jeremy Bentham get himself stuffed and kept at the university? Question number 4. Now, I don't know anything about football, but I got this eventually. This was from one of our viewers, Adam Richardson. I can't thank you enough. It's a corker of a question. The last time Pele was seen playing in an international football match, who was in goal? Yeah, as I say, don't really follow football. I did get it, but only after thinking for quite a bit. So when Pele last played in an international football match, who was in goal? Question 5. One clever habit that gulls have is of standing on the grass and tapping the ground with their beaks. Why do they do it? Simple. Why do gulls tap the ground with their beaks? Next, I'm going to show you some images, say them out loud, and you'll be saying something that sounds like the name of a well-known book. You get the idea. Question 6, 3 images, say them out loud, and you're saying the name of a great American novel. Which one? Question 7, 3 picks, say what you see. Question 8, what are we looking at here? Question 9, another book title, which you get by saying out loud what you're looking at. You get the idea of this. A more recent book this time. And question 10, this one isn't a sound alike like the others, you just need to think about what you're looking at. Satisfying when you get it. Okay, that's it for questions. Answers up next. It looks like soon we're all going to have to wear masks in the street because apparently coronavirus can't infect you if it doesn't know who you are. Question 1. He may be dead, but he's the life of the party is of course course, the tagline for Weekend at Bernie's. Which is probably not one to watch during a pandemic. I don't know. Question 2. Norman Greenbaum, Doctor and the Medics, and Gareth Gates and the Kumars all had a hit with Spirit in the Sky. Yeah, transgenerational. Question 3 was the one about Jeremy Bentham, and the answer is C, that he wanted to still attend college parties. What a guy. For question 4, we had a little head scratcher from Adam Richardson. Well, I can tell you that Pelé retired early in 1977, but then he was next seen playing in an Allies versus Germans match in the film Escape to Victory. And in goal, Sylvester Stallone. And question 5 was about gulls. Well, the reason they stand on the grass and tap it is to trick worms into thinking it's raining. And then when the worms go up to have a little drink, the gulls eat them. Charming. I mean, it's literally called worm charming. And it's charming if you like gulls. If you like worms, it's a nightmare scenario. Next, I gave you those books in picture form. Let's have them. Question 6 was The Great Mo Farah, A Lovely Bee, and the timeless Dick Van Dyke, Moby Dick. For question 7, what can we see here? That person's mad, there's an amp, and a lovely ovary. Whack them together, you get mad, amp, ovary. Madame Bovary. Question 8, we were looking for a fella called Frank, a hen, and a German tankard, so that's Frankenstein. Frankenstein. For question 9, we've got some wool, and then fall, so that's Hilary Mantle's Wolf Hall. Woolful. Woolful. Yeah, you can live without the F, you'll be fine. Finally, question 10 had a group of lions. That's a pride. And the other image certainly shows some prejudice. So yeah, it's the original chick lit page turner, Pride and Prejudice. You know, Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice has an income of £10,000 from his, assets and businesses. In modern money, that would be £12 million a year. Yeah, he was quite a catch, turns out. Up first, 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1. What's the longest single by the Beatles? I'm talking about duration. I realised they were all 7 inches. But what was the longest single by the Beatles? Question 2. We all know where SpongeBob SquarePants lives, under the sea. But how does he earn a living down there? Question 3. Here's a lovely viewer question. Now, when I say that, do I mean a lovely question from a viewer or a question from a lovely viewer? Well, we're about to find out. This one is from Craig Aston, who it seems is in Spain, and it goes like this. What was special about the date, the 20th of February this year? What was special about the 20th of February this year? Pen and paper might help. Question 4, and it's another viewer question from Chris W. Brown. What connects the following? Microsoft Windows in 2015, Eurovision since 2016, Red Dwarf in 2012, and unless things are about to change, the Apple iPhone. And question 5. What popular drink was surprisingly not invented until 1869? What popular drink was not invented until 1869? It was created by an American doctor who was anti-alcohol and wanted to make an alternative to wine for use in Holy Communion. Next, I've taken titles of well-known TV shows, translated them into Vietnamese, and then back into English again. All you've got to do is tell me what was the original title. Question 6. Assignment that is out of the question. Assignment that is out of the question. What's the original TV show? Question 7. The next mistranslated TV show is 183 centimeters further down. 183 centimeters further down. Question 8. Which internationally successful show is this? Legume Esquire. Legume Esquire. Question 9. This one sounds tricky, but I think you'll get it if you think about it. The mistranslation is Sack of Siphonaptera. Sack of Siphonaptera. And question 10. Defective Tall Structures. What was the original title? Defective Tall Structures. That's it for today's questions. You should be doing this every day because you need to exercise your mind as well as your body. And 1 out of 2 is not bad. Well, here I am, back with the answers, unless of course you don't care about being right. No, I don't think so. Here we go. First, we had 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1 was the one about the Beatles' longest single. It's over 7 minutes long, which made it the longest chart topper when it got to number 1. It managed it with all the na-na-nas. It's Hey Jude. Question 2, I asked you what SpongeBob SquarePants does for a living. He's a chef, a fry cook to be precise. Question 3 was from Craig Aston. The 20th of February, it's a palindrome. That's right, it reads the same backwards as forwards, the 20th of February 2020. But not only that, it's a global palindrome, which means it works if you do the numbers like they do in America, incorrectly, or if you do them properly like we do here. So it's a palindrome all over the globe. Yeah, nice, a global palindrome. It's nice to hear the word global without pandemic afterwards, isn't it? Bit of a change. For question 4, Chris W. Brown asked you for a connection. Well, Windows operating system went from 8 to 10. In Eurovision, you can't award 9 points, and Red Dwarf officially has no Series 9, And whilst people have been talking about an iPhone 9 recently, there isn't one of those either. So the answer is they all skipped the number 9. And question 5. The drink that was not created until 1869 was grape juice. Yeah, the guy noticed that if you pasteurized the juice of grapes, it didn't turn into wine. Yeah, buzzkill. Next, I gave you those poorly translated TV show titles. Here come the originals. Question 6 was assignment that is out of the question. That was, of course, Mission Impossible. For question 7, we had 183 centimetres further down. That was 6 feet under. Question 8, Legume Esquire. Did you get that? Mr. Bean. Question 9, and I reckon you were puzzled by this one, but you got it from Sack, am I right? Sack of Siphonaptera is the mistranslated version of Fleabag. Of course it is. Finally, question 10 was defective tall structures, which naturally enough is faulty towers. Question number 1. Which movie had the tagline, "On the air and unaware"? It makes perfect sense. On the air and unaware. Question 2. What two-word French phrase that we use in English means already seen? Question 3, and it's from a viewer, Chris Forrest. Thank you, Chris. He asks, what's the most common colour of toothbrush in the world? Have a guess. I mean, no one knows. You wouldn't have counted them, but have a guess. Question 4, and this one is from David Winnekens in Leipzig. Botox is named after botulism because, well, it kind of is botulism. And botulism was named by a doctor who, like David, lived in Germany. He named the disease after the food he thought was spreading it. What was the food? So what did the doctor that named botulism think was the food that was giving people botulism? Question 5. What product is sold in a long, thin shape on the east coast of America and in a short, fat shape on the west? So what product is sold in a long, thin shape on the east coast of America and in a short, fat one on the west? Next, I'm going to show you 5 sets of short, fat one on the west. Next, I'm going to show you 5 sets of emojis. Each represents a song by Coldplay. But which song? Question 6, a straightforward one to get you going. Which Coldplay single are you looking at in emoji form? Question 7, a bunch of emojis, and it's a Coldplay song, or as close as you can get to a Coldplay song, in emoji form. What's the song? Question 8, here's another Coldplay song. Their 10th biggest, in fact. What's its name? Question 9, think about it, you should get it. Which Coldplay song are we looking at here? And for question 10, here's one from earlier in the career, a Coldplay song. Which Coldplay song? Well, that's it for questions. I can't help you cope with the lockdown, but I can help you when it comes to grading your family from smartest to thickest. Well, here I am, back with the answers. To the quiz, I mean. I've no idea how to cure a pandemic. Soz. First, we had 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1. On the air and unaware was, of course, the tagline for The Truman Show. You know, The Truman Show, the thing we're all living in right now. Question 2. I asked you what the French is for already seen. It's déjà vu. And then for question 2, I asked you what the French is for already seen. It's déjà vu. Question 3, I mean, you really had to guess. This was from Chris Forrest. He asked the most common colour of toothbrush handle in the world. It is, of course, blue. If you said anything else, you're an idiot. Question 4 was from David Winnikins. He wanted to know what botulism was named after. Germany was the clue. It was, of course, sausages. Yeah, it literally means sausage disease. Botulism, sausage disease, which sounds like something much worse, frankly. And question 5. If you buy something in America, it will be long and thin if you buy it in New York, and short and fat if you buy it in Los Angeles. The answer? Butter. America has not yet standardized butter shapes. I know they've got other stuff to be thinking about right now, but this will not stand. Next, I gave you emojis representing Coldplay songs. Of course I did. I've run out of ideas. Okay, so which Coldplay song? Question 6 was, of course, The Scientist. I chose the lady scientist emoji because, you know, I thought you might have been expecting a man scientist, and I wanted to remind you that women can be just as scientific as men. Plus, I find that absolutely bloody smoking hot. For question 7, you saw some droplets and some falling water. Every teardrop is a waterfall? Yeah, that'll do. Question 8 was the one they did with Rihanna. We're looking at royalty, looking at the Chinese flag, Princess of China. Question 9 was a book and a globe. What do you call a book about the world? That's right, it's the one they did for the Hunger Games, Atlas. And finally, question 10, we saw someone going at great speed and a device whose sole purpose is to emit sound. Speed of sound. First up, 5 general knowledge questions. First up, 5 general knowledge questions. Question number 1. In the film Finding Nemo, what kind of fish is Nemo? Other than a lost fish. I mean, we get that he's lost. That's why they're trying to find him. Question 2, and real animals this time. You can tell the difference between an African and an Asian elephant because one of them has ears shaped like Africa. But is the Africa ear-shaped one the African one or the Asian one? So what kind of elephant has Africa-shaped ears? The African elephant or the Asian elephant? Question 3. Here's a great question from Patricia Hill, who says she's maddeningly bored by the lockdown, not the little tiny quiz. At least, I think that's what she means. Here's Patricia's question. How did Whoopi Goldberg get her stage name? Yeah, it's a stage name. Question 4, and this one is from Gareth and Scylla in Australia. What is the maximum number of queens a chess player can have on the board? So what's the maximum number of queens you can have as a chess player? And question 5, in America they call it a zone improvement plan. What do they call it in the rest of the world? So in America it's a zone improvement plan. What is it in the rest of the world? Might sound baffling, but think about it for a while and you'll get there. Have some faith in yourself. Next, I'm going to give you the names of some characters in a movie. They might not be the biggest roles, but you should be able to work out what the movie is from those characters. Rest of the world. Might sound baffling, but think about it for a while and you'll get there. Have some faith in yourself. Next, I'm going to give you the names of some characters in a movie. They might not be the biggest roles, but you should be able to work out what the movie is from those characters. Here we go. Question 6. A straightforward one, just to get you going. What film has these roles? Pub Heavy, Diane's mother, and Renton's nurse. Big movie from 1996. What's it called? Question 7. The characters are Mandy Cohen, Biggus Dickus, and Alarmed Crucifixion Assistant. What's the movie? Question 8. The roles are Silver Assay Worker, Mother Sunday, and Eli Follower. Pretty big Oscar-y kind of movie. What's it called? Question 9. Which movie has these roles? Albert Speer, General Alfred Jodl, and Magda Goebbels. Roles. Albert Speer, General Alfred Jodl, and Magda Goebbels. And question 10. The parts are Mr. Pricklepants, Ken, and Lots O' Hugging Bear. Careful now, exactly which movie am I talking about there? Well, that's all your questions for today. Now, I don't mind you cheating and looking up the answers on your phone, but As this is a pub quiz, I'd prefer if you sneaked off to the toilet to do it. I'm back with the answers. They are stay indoors, wash your hands, and just have a cuddle and try again later. Now the answers to the quiz. First, we had 5 general knowledge questions. Question 1 was, what kind of fish is Nemo? And the answer I was expecting was clownfish. And they can also be called an anemone fish. You can have a point if you put that, but really clownfish is what we were looking for. For question 2, I asked you to think about elephants, and the elephants with ears shaped like Africa. The African elephant is of course the right answer. The African elephant has ears shaped like Africa. You didn't think I was trying to triple bluff you, did you? You did. Idiots. Question 3 was the one from Patricia Hill. She asked, how did Whoopi Goldberg get her stage name? Well, if you were thinking whoopee cushion, you were on the right lines. I think I'll let Whoopi explain in her own words. And I'm quoting here, she said, when you're performing on stage, you never really have time to go to the bathroom and close the door. So you get a little gassy, you got to let it go. So people used to say to me, you're like a whoopee cushion. And that is where her stage name came from. Yeah, flatulence. For question 4, Gareth and Scylla in Australia asked you, what is the maximum number of queens a player can have on a chessboard? You need to remember that if a pawn gets to the other end of the board, you can promote it to any piece you like. And the queen usually makes the most sense, as she's the most badass. That's my description, not Gareth and Scylla's, although they are Australian, so I don't think they'd object. So the answer is 9. You could have 9 queens on the board, the 8 pawns, and then your 1 queen. And question 5 was the one about zone improvement plan. The answer was pretty much in the question because the initial letters of zone improvement plan are ZIP. It's a zip code, or as it's called in the rest of the world, a postcode or postcode area. Next, I gave you the names of parts and films, and you had to tell me the name of the film. Question 6, Pub Heavy, Diane's mother, and Renton's nurse. Diane is Kelly MacDonald's character. Renton is Ewan McGregor's. I haven't a clue who Pub Heavy is, but the answer is Trainspotting. For question 7, I asked you which film has the characters Biggest Dickus, Mandy Cohen, and alarmed crucifixion assistant. It is, of course, Monty Python's Life of Brian. Question 8, we were looking for a film with some mining going on. That was The Silver Assay Worker. The names included Eli and Sunday, and so the answer was There Will Be Blood. For question 9, the roles were Magda Goebbels and General Alfred Jodl, so it was of course Downfall. Yeah, I mean, Adolf Hitler's also in it. It's good. Rain, rain, rain. There's a lot of that. Finally, question 10 was a bit more upbeat. Mr. Pricklepants, Ken, and Lotso Hugging Bear. You probably guessed it. It was a Toy Story movie. Which one? Toy Story 3. The best one. Tracy Powell kicks us off. Question number 1. Tracy wants to know, what breed of dog is Snoopy? He's got big ears, distinctive nose. He dreams of being a fighter pilot. What breed is he? Snoopy. Question 2. This one is from Chris Pace. Well, his email says Chris Pace, but he signs off Christopher. I tell you what, we'll just call him Mr. Pace. Mr. Pace wants to know, the letters of the word allergy can be rearranged to make 3 other words. Name them. What are the 3 anagrams of allergy? Where's Susie Dent when you need her? Question 3 is from Alison N, and I'm not sure what the N stands for. Hopefully not norovirus. Here's Alison's question, and we want 3 answers again. What are the 3 movies in which Gwyneth Paltrow has played a British person? What are the 3 films in which Gwyneth Paltrow has played a British person? Rather well, I might add. Question 4, and this one is from Catherine Stubbs. Which of the following is not a town in Australia? A. Humpy Bong, B. Poowong, C. Tittybong, or D. Burrumbuttock? Which one of those did Catherine childishly make up? And question 5, this is a corker. It's from Sebastian Grammer. The Canary Islands are not named after canaries, it's the other way round. But the Canary Islands are named after an animal. What animal are the Canary Islands named after? And it's not canaries. Next, I'm going to describe what happens in 5 pop videos. No other clues. I want the artist and the title of the song. Next, I'm going to describe what happens in 5 pop videos. No other clues. I want the artist and the title of the song. Okay. Question 6. No other clues. I want the artist and the title of the song. Okay, question 6. A famous one to get us going. A young woman is perving over some handsome guy in a comic book, so much so that she ends up in the comic. Who's performing? What's the song? Question 7. It's a pop video. A young woman witnesses a murder and sees a black guy wrongly arrested for it. After hiding in a church, she goes to prison to seek justice, and for some reason, a statue turns into the man. Question 8. A young woman in a red hat drives a 1978 Lincoln Continental. She picks up some passengers who look eerily familiar, and then she runs out of petrol. Question 9. A woman in fishnet stockings pays a visit to the US Question 9. A woman in fishnet stockings pays a visit to the USS Missouri and almost certainly breaches health and safety regulations with regard to one of the cannons. And question 10. A young man walks in kind of slow motion along Studland Bay in Dorset, and that's it. That is the whole video. Who's performing? What is the song? Well, I do hope you've been enjoying the tiny little quiz of the lockdown. To be honest, it's nice to have something to put on a suit for. Well, the top half of a suit. Business on top, party down below. Let's get on to some answers. First, we had 5 general knowledge questions. First one was from Tracy Powell. She asked, what kind of dog is Snoopy? He's a beagle. He's always been a beagle. How could you not know Snoopy was a beagle? What kind of a person are you? Question 2, Chris Pace asked for 3 anagrams of allergy. They are, of course, gallery, largely, regally. If you got all 3, bloody well done. Question 3 was from Alison N. 3 movies in which Gwyneth Paltrow played someone British. Emma, Sliding Doors, Shakespeare in Love. For question 4, Catherine Stubbs asked you about Australian towns with ridiculous names. Okay, let's go through them. A. Humpy Bong is real, it's in Queensland, means dead houses. Poowong, also real in Victoria, population 360. Tittybong, also in Victoria, population 3. And the name means, as far as I can see, peppermint tree. Oh. Burrumbuttock. That one's in New South Wales and the name refers to a local landowner. So I'm afraid if you said A, B, C or D, then Catherine has tricked you. They are all real towns in Australia. Well done, Australia. Well done, Catherine. And question 5 was from Sebastian Grammer. Canaries are named after the Canary Islands, and the Canary Islands are named after, if the word canine came to mind, that will have helped. They're named after dogs. The Canary Islands. Yeah, dogs. Next, I gave you descriptions of pop videos. Here come the answers. Question 6 was a comic book one, and that, of course, was a-ha, Take On Me. You all should have got that. For question 7, you had the woman going from church to prison and the hot statue. It was, of course, Like a Prayer, Madonna. Question 8 was the red-hatted woman who then becomes her own passenger. We were looking for Alanis Morissette, and the song is, of course, Ironic. For question 9, we had the breach of protocol aboard the USS Missouri. It was Cher, and it was If I Could Turn Back Time. Finally, question 10 was the one involving a man walking down a beach. It was, of course, Coldplay's breakthrough hit, Yellow. Well, that's it for today. I don't understand why they haven't come up with the vaccine yet. I mean, it's not brain surgery, it's epidemiology.
He said why it wouldn't affect your act.
Why? I said, because people will always rape.
said why it wouldn't affect your act.
Why? I said, because people will always rape. I have a bit for you that I want to tell you because I've never been able to use it because it just doesn't suit my act.
Oh, great. Okay, go on.
I want to give you a joke.
Yeah, done. Thanks.
I'm not going to do it now.
Do it now.
I often get this with
I know,
comics
people do it to me.
in Montreal or at Edinburgh.
they
when you're
go,
around
"I
comics,
couldn't say
they come
this."
up. They say,
you
"Listen, I wrote this joke about raping a baby. I can't tell that joke, but maybe you could." And you go, "Have you seen my act? It's not that bad."
What is
Been
it?
the last
What-
15 minutes?
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
いよいよ始まります。ピーチピーチスプラッシュ。
略してピチピチスプラッシュ。
恋に変われもっと変われ君だけのハートめがけて弾け飛んだ胸の鼓動その両手で受け止めて恋に染まれもっと染まれ波打ち際寄り添って世界中の空と海が七色にきらめく時消えない虹を見つけてよ My darling この夏そっとときめきながら私をキュンと君の色に染まるの
Marvelous!
What? Okay, I'm buying it. It's here already. Pokemon cock. It's your boy, Keemstar. I don't know how the fucking goes. Welcome to Pokemon cock.